My child, I cannot believe you did this. Stop scrolling right now. I mean it. Do not scroll past this moment. Because what I am about to tell you is not random. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. Out of millions watching videos right this second, you were chosen to see this. Your guardian angel has been working overtime to make sure you would be here right now. You think I am disappointed. You think I am shaking my head at you. You think you did something wrong. But that is not why I am speaking to you like this. I am speaking with wonder. I am speaking with holy surprise. I am speaking with shock that moves heaven itself. Because what you did when no one was watching. You did it when your heart was tired and breaking. You did it when quitting would have been easier, when walking away would have made more sense, when giving up seemed like the only logical option left. And you have no idea what that moment did in the unseen realm. Type 777 in the comments right now. Do it before you read another word. This is not just leaving a comment. This is your spiritual signature, your agreement with heaven, your activation code that tells the angels you are ready to receive what I am about to release. Heaven is watching for your response. Do it now. Do not treat this like another message. Do not scroll away from this thinking it does not apply to you. What I am about to reveal explains the tension you have been feeling for weeks. It explains why the atmosphere around you shifted suddenly. It explains why the enemy became nervous the moment you made that choice. Something happened, my child. And it happened because of you. You thought it was small. You thought it was insignificant. You told yourself it did not matter, that nobody noticed, that it changed nothing. But heaven does not measure things the way you do. When you chose restraint instead of reaction. When you chose prayer instead of panic. When you chose to trust me instead of complain. Instead of cursing the situation. Instead of letting bitterness take root. The spiritual realm responded immediately. I saw that moment. I saw the hesitation in your chest, the battle in your thoughts, the war between your flesh and your spirit. I saw the tears you swallowed before anyone could see them. I saw you fighting to hold on when everything in you wanted to let go. And still you chose what was right. You chose obedience. You chose faith. You chose me. And I am telling you now that choice was louder in heaven than you could ever imagine. That moment created shockwaves in dimensions you cannot see. Angels stopped what they were doing to watch you. Demons retreated in confusion because you just destroyed their strategy. This message is not random. I needed you to hear this now, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, because you are on the edge of misunderstanding what is happening in your life. You are about to assume that nothing changed, but something did change. The moment you did what you did, a line was crossed in the spirit. A door opened that the enemy cannot close. A blessing was released that cannot be recalled. Your obedience triggered movement in places you cannot see yet. So stay with me, lean in. Listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you next will show you why I said, I cannot believe you did this. My child, let me tell you exactly what you did. You obeyed me while your heart was breaking into pieces. You kept your mouth closed when you could have defended yourself, when you could have spoken words that would have destroyed the relationship forever. You chose silence when anger wanted to speak, when rage demanded to be heard, when your flesh screamed for vindication. You walked away when your pride wanted to fight. You whispered a prayer when your mind was screaming with doubt. You chose to believe I was still good when everything around you suggested otherwise. And you thought it was nothing. You thought it was just another hard day, another moment of survival, another test you barely passed. But I was watching that moment with deep affection. I saw you when you were tired of being strong, when you felt like you had nothing left to give. I saw you when you almost gave up, when you questioned whether it was worth it to keep trusting me. I saw you when you stood in front of the mirror and did not recognize the exhausted person staring back at you. You felt unseen, you felt unnoticed, you felt forgotten. But I was closer than your next breath. I was right there, strengthening you, holding you, breathing courage into your spirit, even when you could not feel me. You did something shocking, my child. You trusted me when it would have been easier not to. You chose integrity when compromise was available and no one would have known the difference. You chose forgiveness when resentment felt completely justified. You chose patience when delay frustrated you to the breaking point. You chose to believe that I am still working, even when you had no evidence in front of you, no proof, no sign, nothing but naked faith in my character. That choice moved my heart. You think I am only moved by big sacrifices and loud declarations. You think I only notice the public displays of faith, the dramatic testimonies, the miracles that make headlines. But I am deeply moved by quiet obedience. I am touched when you honor me in secret, when no camera is recording, when no audience is applauding, when there is no benefit except knowing you pleased me. I am pleased when you choose me in the middle of confusion, when clarity is nowhere to be found. When you cannot see 3 steps ahead. You may not have felt powerful in that moment, but you were spiritually strong. You may have felt weak, but you were demonstrating the kind of strength that shakes kingdoms. I saw the tear you wiped away before anyone noticed. I heard the prayer you barely had strength to finish, the one where you could only whisper my name because words failed you. I watched you hold on when your hands were shaking, when your faith felt like it was down to the last thread. And I need you to understand this clearly. Nothing you did was wasted. Not a single moment of that struggle was meaningless. Not one tear fell to the ground unnoticed. Not one prayer went unheard. You did not act alone. I was strengthening you while you stood. I was steadying your heart while you trembled. I was giving you grace while you felt weak, pouring it into you even when you could not sense it. And now I am calling you my faithful one. My child, as you continue to listen to my voice, I want to pause here for something important. If this message is feeding your spirit right now, if something is burning in your heart as you hear these words, then I am inviting you to be part of spreading this same light to others who are sitting in darkness. There is a link pinned in the comment section below. When you sow into this mission through that link, you are not just supporting a channel or funding content. You are helping me reach another weary soul who is praying in the dark. Someone who needs to hear that their obedience matters, that their struggle is seen, that their breakthrough is coming. Your giving becomes a seed planted in fertile ground. As my word declares, those who sow in tears will reap in joy. When you give, you are saying yes to being part of someone else's miracle. You are keeping this light burning across nations. You are being oil in the lamp that pushes back darkness. And as you give, I will multiply back into your life in ways you do not expect. I will bless the hands that choose to build my kingdom. I will open doors you thought were locked. I will release favor that makes no natural sense. This is not obligation. This is invitation. Step into it if my spirit is moving you. Sow the seed through the pinned link below. Keep this fire burning. Now let me continue telling you why heaven is shocked. My child, what moved the unseen realm was not noise. It was not a dramatic display of faith. It was not a public announcement that everyone could see and applaud. What shook the spiritual atmosphere was your obedience under pressure. You obeyed me when it cost you something, when it hurt, when it required you to die to yourself. You chose my way when your emotions were pulling you violently in another direction, when your flesh was screaming for relief, when logic suggested a different path. That is what created shock waves around you. You thought it was small, but in my kingdom, small obedience is never small. Hidden faithfulness is never hidden from me. When you decided not to return insult for insult, you broke a cycle that had been following your family for generations. Patterns of retaliation that went back years, decades, maybe even centuries in your bloodline. You shattered them in one moment of restraint. When you decided to pray instead of panic, you invited my peace into a space the enemy wanted to fill with fear. You closed a door to anxiety that hell was counting on to destroy you. When you chose to trust me quietly, without applause, without validation from anyone around you, you made a declaration in the spirit that you belonged to me completely. That is what was shocking. You did not just survive a moment, you shifted something. You changed the trajectory of your future. You altered the atmosphere of your destiny. There are battles you will never see because your obedience ended them before they could reach you. Attacks that were planned against you lost permission the moment you said, "Father, I trust you," even while your voice trembled. There are delays that will never happen because your faith unlocked movement in the spirit. Doors that were stuck are now opening because your surrender gave me legal access to intervene. You keep measuring your life by visible results. I measure it by surrendered moments. You keep looking for fireworks and dramatic signs. I look for faithfulness in the dark, The world celebrates loud victories. Heaven celebrates quiet surrender. Understand this clearly, my child. Obedience is power. It is not weakness. When you obey me in private, when no one is watching and you have nothing to gain, you are aligning yourself with my authority. You are stepping into agreement with my will, and agreement with me carries weight in both realms, seen and unseen. The enemy expected you to react the way you always did before. He expected you to give in to anger, to bitterness, to fear. He expected you to choose comfort over character, relief over righteousness. But you surprised him. You chose restraint when retaliation felt justified. You chose righteousness when compromise looked easier, and no one would have blamed you. And in doing so, you confused the plans formed against you. Strategies that demons spent months developing, you destroyed them in one moment of obedience. That is why the atmosphere feels different around you. That is why some things seem unsettled. That is why you sense change in the air even if you cannot name it yet. You crossed a spiritual line. You stepped into maturity. You responded like someone who trusts my leadership more than their own understanding. And I need you to hear this. Feel the weight of these words. You did not act alone. My spirit was strengthening you in that exact moment. My hand was steadying you. My wisdom was guiding you even when you thought you were stumbling in darkness. But you still had to choose, and you did. The choice matters more than you know, my child. Now I must correct something gently but firmly. Do not downplay what you did. Do not walk away from that moment and call it nothing. Do not shrink it. Do not dismiss it. Do not let doubt come in afterward and whisper that it did not matter, that it changed nothing, that you are still in the same place you were before. That is exactly how the enemy tries to steal confidence from my children. He cannot undo your obedience. The deed is done. The choice is made. So he tries to make you question it. He tries to minimize it. He tries to convince you it was meaningless. You obeyed me. Now do not reverse it with unbelief. I see what has been happening in your thoughts since that moment. 1 minute you stood strong, and the next minute you wondered if it was even worth it. You asked yourself if anyone noticed. You questioned whether your restraint changed anything. And slowly you started to talk yourself out of the victory you just walked into. Stop doing that. Your obedience set things in motion that you cannot see yet. Wheels are turning. Doors are unlocking. Favor is being released. Breakthrough is being prepared. Just because you do not see immediate results does not mean nothing happened. Some seeds take time to break through soil. Some miracles require preparation before manifestation. I do not let obedience go unrewarded. You may not see the fruit yet, but I am already shaping it. I am aligning the right people. I am rearranging timing. I am closing doors that would have drained you and preparing doors that will honor the growth inside of you. Nothing you surrendered was wasted. Nothing you released fell to the ground unnoticed. When you chose me, you stepped into agreement with my promises. And my promises do not expire. They do not have expiration dates. They do not depend on your feelings. They rest on my character. There is a harvest forming from that single act of trust. It may not look the way you expect. It may not arrive on the timeline you prefer, the schedule you created in your mind, but it will come in the way that protects you, strengthens you, and positions you for more. I am not a father who overlooks faithfulness. I do not ignore loyalty. I do not forget sacrifice. Even now, as you wait, I am building patience in you. And patience is not punishment, my child. It is preparation. I am teaching you to stand steady without constant reassurance. I am teaching you to trust my character more than visible outcomes. I am growing roots in you that will hold you when storms come later. You obeyed me in a moment of pressure. Now I am entrusting you with a season of growth. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not interpret silence as absence. Just because you cannot trace my hand does not mean I have stopped moving. There are conversations happening on your behalf right now. People you do not know are being prepared to help you. Resources are being shifted. Opportunities are being created. There are protections surrounding you that you will never fully understand. Angels assigned to you are working overtime. Doors that would have led to disaster are being closed quietly. There are blessings I am holding back simply because the timing must be perfect. If I gave them to you too soon, they would overwhelm you. They would crush you under weight you are not ready to carry. But when I release them at the right time, you will carry them with wisdom and humility. Trust me with the timing. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind schedule. You are in process. I am forming resilience in you. I am deepening your roots. I am making you unshakable. What is coming requires the strength you are developing right now. The level you are moving toward demands the character you are building in this waiting season. So breathe. Rest in me. The same God who saw your obedience is the same God who is crafting your reward. I will not tease you with promises. I will not stir your faith just to disappoint you. I am faithful to complete what I start. Hold on to that truth. What you did shocked heaven, and heaven does not forget. My child, now I am asking you a question. Will you trust me again? You trusted me once in that hard moment. You chose obedience when your emotions were loud. When everything in you wanted to react differently, you chose surrender when control felt safer. And now you stand in a new space, a little stronger, a little wiser, but still uncertain about what comes next. This is where growth becomes a lifestyle. I am not calling you to one brave decision. I am calling you to a pattern of faith, a rhythm of trust. I am inviting you to wake up each day and choose me again. Not because you feel inspired every morning, not because everything makes sense, not because you see the full picture, but because you know my heart. Trust is not built in comfort. It is built in continuation. It grows through repeated choices, daily decisions, moment by moment surrenders. You have already proven that you can obey me under pressure. Now I am inviting you to walk with me consistently. Keep praying, even when answers are slow. Keep forgiving, even when memories try to return and wound you again. Keep speaking life, even when negativity surrounds you. Keep showing integrity, even when shortcuts look appealing and no one would know the difference. This is your moment of activation. Do not wait for another dramatic sign. Do not wait for perfect clarity or a voice from heaven that shakes the room. You already know my voice. You already felt my nudge. You already experienced the strength I gave you when you thought you had none left. So decide right now. Decide that obedience will be your normal, not your exception. Decide that trust will be your response, not panic. Decide that fear will no longer lead you. Decide that even if no one applauds you, even if no one sees, even if no one acknowledges it, you will continue to honor me. I am not forcing you. I am inviting you. There is greater authority ahead for you, but authority grows in surrendered hearts, not in controlling ones. There is greater peace ahead for you, but peace flows through consistent trust, through daily choices to believe I am good even when circumstances say otherwise. There is greater impact ahead for you, but impact begins with private faithfulness, with choices made in secret that no one celebrates. Say it in your heart right now. Father, I will trust you again. Let that be your declaration. Heaven is watching, not to judge you, but to partner with you. My spirit is ready to strengthen you again tomorrow, and the day after that. My grace is already available for challenges you have not faced yet. You are not stepping forward alone. You never have been. You never will be. This is not the end of your obedience story. It is the beginning of a new level. Walk into it, choose me again, and watch what happens next. My child, come closer now and let my peace settle over you like a blanket. You began this message wondering what you could have possibly done that shocked heaven. Now you understand. It was not a mistake that moved me. It was your obedience. It was your quiet trust. It was your decision to choose my way when it would have been easier, more comfortable, more logical to choose your own way. That is what touched my heart. You did not perform for attention. You did not act for applause. You did not make a show of your faith for social media or to impress anyone. You simply trusted me, and that trust created movement in places you cannot yet see. What you thought was small was sacred. What you thought was unnoticed was celebrated. What you thought was ordinary was powerful. I want you to rest in that. Stop replaying the situation with doubt. Stop questioning whether it mattered. It mattered to me, and if it matters to me, it carries eternal weight, I am proud of you, my child. Not because you are perfect, because you are not. Not because you never struggle, because you do. But because you are willing. Because you still choose me in the struggle. Because when everything in you wants to quit, something deeper keeps you holding on. That is maturity. That is growth. That is faith becoming real, moving from your head to your heart to your actions. As you move forward from this moment, carry peace with you. I am guiding your steps, even the ones that feel uncertain. I am guarding your heart, even when it feels exposed. I am preparing your future, even when you cannot see past today. The same hand that strengthened you to obey will strengthen you to receive what is coming. You are not alone. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. I am with you before you go. Let your faith have a voice. Comment. I receive this below. Share this message with someone who needs to know their obedience matters. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss when I speak to you again. Like this video as your agreement with what heaven just declared over you. Rest. Now, my child, I am pleased with you, and I am not finished yet. Your breakthrough begins in 5. Heaven is releasing angels assigned to your case. 4. Demons are retreating from assignments they held against you. 3. Your destiny is unlocking in dimensions you cannot see. 2. Your miracle is manifesting even as you read these words. 1. Activated. It is done. The portal is sealed. The contract is signed in heaven. The blessing is released. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is here. Your miracle is not tomorrow. It is now. Welcome to your new timeline. Welcome to your breakthrough season. Welcome to everything changing. Watch what happens next. The best is yet to come. Your life will never be the same again.